Hello, Canada. Welcome back to another edition of the Canadian Citizen Journal. I'm your host, Ilias Tagai. We got lots to go over here today. I'm going to give you a update on the Ukrainian village. I tried to find footage and I couldn't. If any of my viewing audience has footage, you can either post the link in the comment section or you can send it to me via email, which is in my portfolio on my page on YouTube. We're also breaking record numbers for pre-voting registration, or not registration, but the actual voting at the early election stations. We're going to dabble into just some of these people in line. It's kind of crazy. The idiocracy that happened at a campaign rally of Carney's, plus a lot of the hate that's going on, especially during Easter. This is a sad state of affair, what's going to Canada, and this is why all the great minds have left. And there's a few other things I want to touch on. And we're going to finish off with a really, really great video of a guy and his pets. I won't say any more. I'll let the video speak for itself. Let's get started with the actual Ukrainian village. This is a sad state of affair. There isn't really a lot of information in any of these articles, which is just shocking to me. This is a priceless piece of Alberta and its history. I'm just in shock that I can't. There's not any, like especially the mainstream going down there and seeing the damages. This is some of the footage that we've got. They said that the Fort Saskatchewan RCMP said the fire started amid dry conditions east of Elk Island National Park behind the village, about 50 kilometers east of Edmonton. Now, I'd read more of this article to you, but literally 3/4 of this article is people's titles, and I'm just going to give you one of them. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. Where am I here? Okay, so they said the Calder said that 30 firefighters helped put out the flames that were first reported around 2 p.m. on Friday. He said the initial call came in from South Highway 16 of the park. And then, it just takes off into statements from Arts, Culture, and Status of Women Minister Tanya Fur and the parliamentary... Like, it's just, come on, enough, women's affairs. Can we not have equality? This is just ridiculous. So they said that it was the visitor center that took the brunt of it. All of the actual heritage buildings, the old buildings, are still standing. So I sit corrected. The pictures I saw, I was kind of guesstimating just because it's been years that I've been there. Like, it's been decades since I've been there. But I thought that it did look like one of the actual, like one of the cookhouse and the part of the stables, but I was wrong. So thank God it's not as bad as what even I thought it was. They said that these buildings included the exhibit spaces and housed many irreplaceable artifacts that told the stories of generations of Ukrainian Albertans. The Alberta government acquired the site in 1975. And it's committed to reopening the village when it is safe and appropriate to do so. So, like I said, if any of you guys have got any footage of the actual damages there, please send it to me. Let me know. I will put it on my next episode. Now, we're going to get into the catch and release craziness that has become Canada because of this Liberal government. So there's a warrant issued for this convicted sex offender the day after Vancouver police warned the public of his release. His name is Hayden McCorson. He's 30. He's convicted of, yes, assaulting women in Burnaby, Vancouver police said. So he was convicted in 2022 on a 4-day spree. He's involved on assaults on women of course, a sexual nature, and they include everything from groping, indecent exposure, blah, 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 blah. And then they say that he said that drugs and alcohol were a factor at the time of the offenses. Whatever. McCorson was sentenced to 3 years and 2 months in prison. He has now served 2/3 of his sentence. That's even a light sentence. Craziness, and he got out. Addison said that the man obtained a statutory release and is supposed to serve the remainder of his sentence in the community. That's a decision of the Correctional Service of Canada, and that's the system under which we all live, Addison said. And this is ridiculous. We've got to get rid of this government. We got to start increasing penalties. Every single thing that this Liberal government has done in the last 10 years has to be removed. We need a complete reset. He's getting a chance to live in the community and serve out the remainder of his sentence. That's why he's now on the streets on the run. McCorson was placed in a halfway house on Homer Street in downtown Vancouver under a set of strict release regulations, including a nightly curfew and restrictions on alcohol, drugs, and contact with women. On Thursday, Vancouver police publicly warned the community about his release, a move that officials say are served for individuals considered a serious threat. We reserve warnings like this as the most serious offenders, the most high risk when we legitimately believe there's a risk to the public. But in a statement Friday afternoon, police said McCorson had failed to return to the halfway house and was last seen leaving the building at approximately 10:25. We believe that he has violated the conditions of his release, and he has taken steps to avoid being found. So keep your eyes out for this man. If you see him, do not approach him. Call the police or RCMP right away. Let's get this guy off the streets. Now, as for the voting, record turnout. Let's hear it.
We begin the program tonight with some breaking numbers out of the federal election campaign. Elections Canada is reporting Canadians came out in record numbers for advance polls. Over the course of 4 days between Friday and yesterday, 4.7 million Canadians cast their ballots. That's a 29% jump from the 2015 advance polls. The only difference is that this year, of course, those polls were open 12 hours a day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. In 2015, they were open 8 hours from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So, remember 5 months ago when the Liberals and NDP got together and they moved the election date further back, saying that they were trying to protect religion and they didn't want, Dalrara or whatever, however you pronounce it. And then, of course, government falls. And what do they call the election on? Yes, here we are. It's Easter. So that was a lie. Like everything else they say, religion had nothing to do with it. This proves they did it, trying to get however many, I think it was 60 total people would have ended up getting their pensions if we would have waited to the election coming later this year. So thank God we have an earlier election. Craziness. Moving on. We're going to go to some... Yeah. Let's just play the video. I'm going to have to mute this because they put the chicken dance song to it, which suits it really well. So go ahead, everybody. Yeah. Sing with me. These people are unhinged. Now, Karima is there. She's not left, she's not right. She just reports on everything. She's just trying to get the numbers. They're going around trying to see, because we're breaking numbers. The lineups are incredible. Look at these loonies. This is what you get with propaganda media. These people, most of them probably have no idea why they are so spiteful and hateful. And there's the lady herself. I'd like to meet her someday, actually. I think what she does, her work is incredible. Moving along. This is the Liberal, the truth of the Liberals. If you vote a Liberal, I'll play these skits out and kind of talk along with them. This is absolutely hilarious. So, there appears to be a miscommunication around parking at the Liberal campaign event. Security was seen directing attendees to parking in certain areas where later their vehicles were towed. I guess there were 5 tow trucks there. They were hauling these vehicles out lickety-split. They were parked in the wrong spot where the Liberals told them to park. And now here is a Liberal supporter who actually had tickets. She was supposed to be allowed in. They didn't allow her in. And now when she went to go get her car was gone and was towed away. So in other words, like most Canadians know, I would like to hope, especially after this lost decade. This is the Liberals. They're going to say one thing, and you are going to be the one paying for it. I think we just gained another Conservative voter. Let's take a listen.
I didn't pull anyone's car.
Well, the police told me to park in the parking lot, and then my car
Okay,
is
well,
no
there's
longer
police
there.
right here. I've got to close the door, ma'am. I'm
But
sorry.
this was a Liberal event I was standing in line for.
I
And they both
know.
told me
We
to
reached
come.
capacity. I'm really sorry.
I know, but that has nothing to do with them pulling my car.
Okay, I'm not sure about the car, but there's police right here.
I
We can
know.
ask him.
He says it's not his responsibility either.
I said you can go talk to the staff at the front about the towing of your car on the property, and then
Sorry,
I can
ma'am.
help you
Can
from
I
there,
ask you
okay?
to your foot?
Thank you.
Can I ask the Liberals to pay for my tow fee?
I don't
And a
know
taxi
anything
home
about
or
your
wherever
car.
the freaking car is? This
I don't
is
know
your
where that
event. You
is.
invited me to it. I parked where they told me to park. And now I
think
don't
we can-
have
we can
a car.
See what we can do there around the corner, okay?
Welcome to the Liberal Party, the new Liberal Party. This is not the party of old. So when I say liberal, I'm referring to the last decade. The complete intolerance, hate, spite, lies, deceit, fear, hate, and division. This is the fascist party. And this lady just learned her lesson. Surprising she didn't understand already, and she's still a supporter, because our taxes are out of control. More than 70-some percent, 73% of our taxes go to, or our wages go to paying for taxes. This is insanity. She just learned her lesson. She just learned her lesson. Let's listen. I love her response. She's not happy, and I don't blame her. But guess what? Vote Liberal. You're going to get the same outcome you've had for the last 10 years. Nothing's changed. Lipstick on a pig, people.
I'm sorry.
Normally, the Liberals are towing trucks. Today, you have a car or a truck?
Yes, car. And I parked in the parking lot that the police told me to park in. I stood here for an hour to come into the event I'm invited to. And then when I'm told I can't get in, I go back to find my car, and it's towed away.
Were there any
Are they taking responsibility, or these people?
any
No.
stickers on the back of your
No,
car?
all of them are gone over there. They've got 5 tow trucks over there towing cars. Mine's already gone. No, I've had 2 knee replacements. I'm sitting here. I've already had to walk up that hill, walk down, walk back, and now they expect me to walk somewhere else.
Now here's another Liberal trying to, oh no, don't be mad. Don't be mad at the Liberal Party. Don't be mad at the Liberal Party.
Watching it right now, it's really better to watch it because you wouldn't be able to see him if you got in there.
I don't care. They
You wouldn't be
towed
able
my
to hear
car.
him. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Karima, she's awesome. This is a priceless video. I just had to show it. This is Liberal MP Mark Garretson doing some door knocking. This is a real Canadian who answered the door. Love it.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm Mark Garretson. I'm your member of parliament.
Yeah, man. Not a chance.
Okay, cool. Have a
You're
good day.
against gun owners, you pathetic.
Okay, you're pathetic. Oh.
Too funny. Oh my lord. Now Gad Sad, another great mind who's left Canada. Now, like I said on previous episodes, the media is out there saying how all of these professors and stuff are leaving the United States, trying to come to Canada to teach. And in the meantime, the real great minds, the true Canadian minds, are fleeing. So the media is making it sound like all these new teachers coming in is a good thing. They're not. They are Leninist, Marxist, socialist, fascist, divisive haters. This is not a good thing. We do not want these teachers, people. We do not want them. In fact, we have to purge our universities as it is. And like I say, like I said on many episodes, if you are a university student and you have a teacher who is preaching this type of hate, please record it and send it to me. I would love to have that and expose these teachers for who they are. We need to show Canadians what's being taught in our schools. I've talked to a few. They've told me straight out. I've had kids who've gone to university who have told me straight out. We need to expose the teachers. These people, like I said, they need to be held accountable for what they are brainwashing our youth to do. And I'm glad to say that it seems like the majority of Conservative voters today are the youth. They've seen what has happened in the last 10 years, and I'm so glad that they've seen it. It's just sad that it took this much destruction in order to come around. But these people are coming out of schools where a lot of these teachers, they shouldn't be teaching. There should be zero politics in school. Zero politics. You're there to teach the actual subject at hand: science, algebra, mechanics, etc. Enough. We got to clean it out. I'm going to read you off Gad Saad, his discussion with another person on his page. And she's a Gad Saad lover. How could you not love Gad Saad? This guy he's a true intellectual. Absolutely amazing. What a sad loss for Canada. Just another great mind. So Gad, who are you voting for in the upcoming election? As he likes to say, parasitized Canadian, we'll call her PC, but I won't say that, I'll just say liberal. They say Carney and the Liberals. Gad, why? Liberal, because Carney will protect us against Trump. Gad, you're afraid of Trump? Liberal, he has threatened to annex Canada. Gad, you think this is a serious military threat and Carney is the man to stop the U.S. military if this was the case? Liberal, yes. Plus, he's an economist. My God, some people. Oh. Gad, is your inability to feed your family more due to Trump or the Canadian government's actions in taxation? Liberal, well, I'm a liberal person, Dr. Saad. I'm going with Carney because Trump. And then he quotes himself, Canada cannot survive this level of suicidal stupidity. And he is absolutely correct. Throw a heart on there. Love Gad Saad. Like I said, it's a crying shame he's gone. Now, this happened at the Charlottetown Chamber of Commerce debate. The Liberal candidate there, Sean Casey, he actually laughed when Natalie was talking about crime. He laughed. You have to see this. These Liberals are out of control, protected by mainstream media. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and get this out there. People need to see this.
Public safety is one of the most basic responsibilities of government. And under the Liberal government, communities across Canada are seeing a wave of crime and chaos. We laugh, but that's a reality. I know, but I can't. It's happening. That's very inappropriate to laugh over that. Violent crime has increased by 50%. Every 2.5 days, a woman is murdered in Canada, and over half of these cases, the murderer is their partner. Sexual violations against children.
He's actually laughing at the stats, people. Craziness.
Are up 119%. Gonna laugh at that? 50,000 Canadians have died from opioid overdoses since 2015. That's more than we lost during the Second World War. Yep.
These are real stats. I've talked about them on previous episodes. And they're climbing. They're climbing every month.
Mark Carney is on the record saying this isn't a crisis. The Liberal approach has been soft on crime, focusing on catch and release policies, allowing open drug use in public spaces and leaving the provinces and municipalities to deal with the consequences. Canadians, they don't feel safe, and that's for good reason. A conservative government...
Now, that's why you have people like this who are out. Soft on crime. If you see this guy, make sure you call the police or the RCMP. Do not approach him. Let's get this individual back where he belongs, behind bars. Unbelievable. Canada is just... Now, love this. I had mentioned that somebody had this the lawn sign up. This is great. I salute you too. I salute all of those who have served and who are still in the military. Although we don't have a lot left, most of the patriotic people who do, they put their financial, like it doesn't pay very well. It's a hard career to do. You got to be a true patriot to join the military and serve for our Canadian military. But love the sign. Liberals, if you're asking me for my vote, you're asking for more than I'm willing to give. Signed, a veteran. In this case, 2. I salute you. Thank you so much for your service, and thank you so much for putting this out there for other Canadians to see. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We got to get the word out. These people who sit behind their closed doors have they don't see the reality of what Canada's become, as they are glued to the propaganda media that has been propping this government up for 10 years and got this government in power. It's craziness. We've got to end this. And now the media is still losing their minds. Their self-destruction after what they caused at the leadership debate scrum. They're still trying to blame Ezra and a whole bunch of different independent journalists for their own actions. These were the people which I showed on a previous episode. Please check out my previous episodes. I got a lot of breaking stories that I have put forward. Yes, a little wee outlet like myself. And just other current things that mainstream isn't going to show you. Now, I had shown that it wasn't the independent media that was the problem. It was the mainstream media. They literally lost their crap. They decided that they did not want to have equal terms. They did not want to have anybody asking real questions, exposing the politicians for who they are. Politicians need to answer serious questions, especially during an election, because this is where Canada's going to vote and put one of them in power. And we need to know who we're voting for before we sign an X on the ballot. Speaking of which, yes, you are allowed to take a pen. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I posted a short on Facebook from Elections Canada. You can use a pen. They say that the pencil is supposed to not be rubbable, but if you have concerns that there's going to be any type of cheating, take a pen. You are allowed. So we'll read it off. This is from JJ McCullough. As Sean Spear noted recently, the Canadian news media has been suffering from an acute case of main character syndrome in this election. Very well put, by the way. How many friggin' stories about the number of questions reporters got to ask at this or that press conference must we endure? Now, Glennie McGregor is one of the worst propaganda. He's not a journalist. He's not a journalist. He's a reporter. He just coos the liberal points. He's a waste of skin, this guy. I've seen some of the footage of what he does. He's not only mean, he's ignorant, and he has no idea of reality. He doesn't care. He like I said, he's all about liberal talking points and propping up this government. And here he is losing his crap. Glenn, get back on your meds. Get back on your meds, buddy. And if you're not on meds, which I don't think you ever have been, seek psychological help. I'm sure Dr. Jordan Peterson would give you a great referral to a great psychologist who could lay you down on the couch, fix up your medication for you, and at least somewhat get you to dial down your insane rhetoric. And here's what he writes. Journalists were just told by the Poilievre campaign that national media will not get to ask one of the 4 allotted questions at the end of this presser in Richmond, BC. But a radio station in Manitoba will get to ask one by phone. Hello? I think local media is a hell of a lot more important than the rag you guys call national media, the propaganda arm. So, way to go, Poilievre. He's been doing this everywhere he goes. He's been trying to get the local media, and they're the ones that are starving right now. A lot of these small newspaper outlets that have converted to digital are having a really hard time. So make sure you support local media. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you can, donate. We need the money. I don't make any money. I'm not big enough to even get a cent. We need the money. That's how, we got to survive somehow, right? Now, moving on. This is just some of the hate. Listen to the words that this guy puts out. And on all the time, this is all going on during the Easter holiday. This is just an abomination. Listen to what he says.
Just seeing people standing up for Palestinians makes some people angry. Imagine being angry at health workers being against the bombing of hospitals. This mentality, these old boomers must die out, and hopefully their kids and grandkids evolve. This mentality, these old boomers must die out, and hopefully their kids and grandkids evolve.
Talk about this on previous episodes. Hamas runs all the information that comes out of Palestine. These people, this is a Hamas. These guys are a terrorist organization. There's tons of proof. I'm going to probably do a 2-part series exposing a lot of the lies that have come out of Hamas, including some of the doctors that have been invited to talk on CBC and CTV, who were later filmed actually knowing and helping, knowing where the hidden entrances were to caverns under these hospitals, and helping Hamas to either place or remove arms and weapons, or in some cases where I'm trying to find the one video, it looks like CBC has scrubbed it, where that doctor that they had on there was actually helping to take the hostages, who were in really bad shape, by the way, and into these hospitals, into hidden tunnels. This is Canada, and our media backs these people up, and you wonder why people like Gadsad are fleeing and the Jews are running for their lives. And why are they running for their lives? Because you get stuff like this. 3 Jewish-owned businesses were attacked last night in Thornhill, at Hilda and Clark Plaza. This is a daily occurrence, people. The media doesn't talk about it. This is a daily occurrence in Canada. This is the Liberal Party. The new Liberal Party. We have to decimate this party. And then we got to open up investigations, because these guys, our government has been funding Hamas. Enron, all the rest of it, they've been funding it. And they just sent another, what, 70 or 100 million dollars to the Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, a terrorist organization who claim to be the new party ruling Syria. All of the members have either been part of ISIS, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda, and we're giving them money. Yes, we are. And in the meantime, they're genociding Christians, Yazidis, Jewish, anybody who is not a radical Islamist. Your tax dollars, people. Your tax dollars. It's election season. Make sure you get out there and vote. Please get out there and vote. Your one vote could literally change the outcome of this election. It's so important you get out there and vote. Now here, just a little bit more evidence. This is during Easter weekend. First they come for the Saturday people, then they come for the Sunday people.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Jesus the birth child killer?
Now they're saying that Jesus is a child killer? Really?
Hold on. Do you know Jesus is a Palestinian?
Now they're saying Jesus is a Palestinian? Hello? Marty, hello? These people are absolutely, wow. And in the good news, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, this is just another endorsement from the unions to Pierre Poilievre. Thank you guys so much for speaking up. IBEW Local 2067, representing over 2,200 workers across Saskatchewan, are proud to endorse the Conservative Party of Canada leader Pierre Poilievre for Prime Minister. Thank you guys ever so much for putting your voices out. It makes a big difference. Now we're going to get caught up here by none other than Franco, man, you rock. I'm a big fan of this guy. This is the Canadian Taxpayer Federation. Carney has announced his platform, his spending. If you thought Trudeau broke us, wait till you hear what Carney is going to spend. Scary times.
Carney's budget plan is worse than Trudeau's. Look, I didn't even think it was possible but Mark Carney, Liberal Party leader, just released his platform, and he wants to borrow billions of dollars more than Trudeau. Okay, Carney has zero plan to balance the budget. His plan is more debt, more money wasted on interest charges. So Carney wants to borrow almost $100 billion than Trudeau over the next 4 years, okay? This is a disaster. Now, let me just read you Carney's deficit numbers over the next 4 years. 2025, Carney's deficit, $62 billion. 2026, Carney's deficit, $60 billion. 2027, $55 billion. And in 2028, $48 billion, folks. That is absolutely gross. Now, you add up those 4 years, Carney wants to add $225 billion to the debt. For comparison, in Trudeau's last budget document over those 4 years, he wanted to add $131 billion to the debt. So Carney wants to borrow billions more than Trudeau. Carney wants to add almost $100 billion more to the debt than what Trudeau wanted to do. So yeah, Carney's budget is worse than Trudeau's. Now, folks, what does more debt mean? It means more money wasted on interest charges. Okay, already, interest charges on the debt are costing taxpayers $54 billion a year. It means every dollar you pay in federal sales tax is going to pay interest on the debt. In fact, the federal government wastes more money on debt interest charges than what it sends to the provinces in health transfers. Now, Carney's budget plan, if we can call it that, wants to add about $5 billion more on interest charges over the next 4 years, meaning Carney wants to increase the amount of money that government is wasting on interest charges by more than $1 billion every single year.
Wow.
It is gross. So let's just recap, okay? Liberal Party leader Mark Carney put out his platform today. And in there, Carney's budget plan is worse than Trudeau's. Carney has zero plan to balance the budget, okay? Don't buy all this, he's going to balance the operating budget in 2028 spin. No, he is not balancing the budget. In 2028, he wants to run a $48 billion deficit, $48 billion more on the debt. That is not a balanced budget. That is gross. No plan to balance the budget. $225 billion in additional debt. Almost $100 billion in more debt over those 4 years than Trudeau. Now, folks, after about a decade plus of runaway government spending, we need politicians, okay, to put down the credit card and pick up some scissors.
He is absolutely correct. Our debt is out of control. Carney makes money off of high interest rates. He is making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars off, and we don't even really know how much he's invested in Brookfield and a lot of these other companies. And like I've exposed in previous episodes, he interfered while he was the bank of governor in order to get laws put in for heat pumps, which his company is invested in, the companies that get the tax exemption, taxpayer dollars, to buy heat pumps. These people are making billions of dollars. He then comes to Canada, starts working for Trudeau, and does the exact same thing here. People on the East Coast, specifically you, yes, you Easterners, hello. Like, share, and subscribe. This guy is corrupt. They are bankrupting us. Look at where we're at right now. This is out of control spending. More money on interest. Like, we can't afford this. We can't afford the burden. You vote this guy, you will never own a home. And no, you won't be happy. Like they like to say, oh, you'll be happy. No, you won't. They're going to build mass communist style houses, pack you like sardines at exorbitant costs. You'll never be able to own because they'll be owned by real estate giants, which are part of the Brookfield investment strategy. Yes, this man is beyond evil. And with all the proof we have, again, previous episodes, the entire party has been infiltrated by China. This is serious. This election truly is the most important election in Canadian history. We can't let these people, especially with the propaganda arm, brainwashing people to allow this party to carry on. And the further we go, the harder it's going to be in order to expose all of the billions of dollars they've stole. They have stolen, there's billions of dollars that we don't even know where it went, let alone the SDTC scandal, where it looks like most of those companies are all part of the Brookfield Strategy Asset Management. This is ridiculous. This has to end. Unbelievable. Now I got a couple really cool stories here. I'm going to start off with this. A rare Catholic book has shown up. It was printed in 1596 and uncovered at McMaster University. And literally it has the librarian there freaking out. So Ruth Ellen St. Onge was preparing for an upcoming exhibition that will showcase a variety of texts published by the renowned Plantin Press when she saw something in the McMaster University Library's catalog records that had her kind of freaking out here. I saw this note on something called the University Short Title Catalog that said Lost Book, and my heart started beating really fast at St. Onge. I was like, oh, what's going on here? St. Onge, McMaster University Library's distinctive collections cataloging librarian, uncovered a rare book titled Officium Beatio Marius Virginis, which translates to The Book of Hours of the Virgin Mary, published by the Plantin Press in 1596. The tiny prayer book, which the public can view in early May, was written in Latin and sold across Europe, typically purchased by devout Catholics or members of religious orders. Known as the Book of Hours, it is structured prayers designated for specific times of the day. These volumes were often used daily, making their survival over centuries quite rare, according to the university. Of course, they'd be wore out. It'd be a really, really rare book. St. Onge said the term lost book indicates that scholars knew from financial records that these books were printed, but no copies were known to exist. After double-checking her work, St. Onge said she shared the news with her boss and with her colleague Myron Groover, Archives and Rare Books librarian, with whom she's co-curating the Plantin Press exhibit. It's very exciting for McMaster, I think for scholars in general, because not only are there no surviving copies of this specific edition of the Book of Hours, most of the small format books of hours produced by the Plantin Press do not survive, and there's only a handful. So it's really significant that we have this book at McMaster. So University acquired the book in 1965, St. Onge said. The previous owner was Aldo Caselli, an Italian professor who moved to the United States during World War II. He had a collection of around 100 or so books from the Italian Renaissance, and McMaster acquired that collection from him in 1965. So they say that the book is in pretty good shape, according to St. Onge. It has a total of 645 pages, is printed in red and black ink, and is quite sturdy and very small. Now they have a picture of it up here. Where is that? Look at how small this book is. This is an incredible find. This is amazing. Way to go, McMasters. Thank you for storing our history and investing in it. For those that don't know me, the newer subscribers, I'm a heavy history fanatic, which I believe the best history books there are mostly religious texts. And I've read all of them, every one I can get my hands on. I can't wait for them to actually make a digital copy of this so I can add this to my collection. This is an amazing discovery, and look, it looks like it is in incredible shape. Wow, absolutely shocking. And the last episode is this guy with his pets. I had to add this. I thought it was amazing. Yeah. Check it out. I saw this guy's pet at the park.
Oh my gosh. I know, I have to get it.
He has a harness for his duck. He's got shoes for his duck.
Oh, that is so
And into the fountain he goes.
Oh my god.
But let's not forget his little brother.
Cute. Oh. Aw. Oh my gosh. I know I have to.
Amazing. Where did he get those
Is he
shoes?
going for a swim?
No, my ducks, they don't go out in public. They get to roam the yard. They've got a beautiful setup. I treasure them. They're each animal that we have out here, they're pretty incredible.
Oh my god.
This is fascinating to see.
He's
Thank you so much for catching this. It's just on nature is amazing, so I don't know necessarily who to thank. But yeah, thank you so much for posting that. It was enlightening. I loved it. It made my day, especially after seeing everything that's going on in Canada right now. Absolute pandemonia, the voting, the legacy media breakdown. Craziness. Make sure you get out there and vote, people. Like I said, it looks as though it's going to be incredibly tight. You could be the person that helps change history. Not trying to put any weight on your shoulders, but it is true. Make sure you get out and you vote. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you are, punch that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, you've been watching the Canadian Citizen Journal. I'm your host, Alias Tagai. Stay informed.